Good evening and welcome to our Monday Math Mania tonight. My name is Shannon with Strategic Intervention Solutions, and we are here to talk about 3X math tasks. If you were able to join us last week in Nashville, we hope you enjoyed our preschool feature. Today we're going to be featuring the use of the 8 mathematical practices as it relates to the 3X math tasks. And so we have kind of a board up here. We'll be doing a lot of the showing of what we're doing and how you would go about doing a 3X ACTS. If you are joining us for the first time, our website is sis4teachers.org. We are doing a contest today. If you tag 5 of your friends in our Facebook Live video, in the comments section, we will enter you into one of my publications to get the 8 mathematical practices math strategy game download for your classroom. Today we're going to be talking about the 8 math practices as it relates to the application and what we're trying to teach kids in 21st century math. And so you and I, when we grew up, we didn't have a whole lot to do with the application part of math. It was mainly just memorizing and showing that you knew the answer. And so this poster is from our Wayne County RESA, and it is on my website on the sis4teachers.org. underneath our free resources. This is our elementary poster that we use, and on the flip side we have our early childhood 8 math practices, and these are really great for pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade. I like to do mine back to back so we can use them for different things. And so today what we're going to be doing is featuring a really great way to implement the 8 mathematical practices into your classroom to get kids to have an idea of how to do things in higher order thinking. And so we're going to show you a lot of different resources as well as take you through a 3X task on one of my favorite websites that I like to go to. So to find out where all the 3X math tasks things are, you're going to go to sis4teachers.org, and then you're going to click on our free resources. Today we're going to focus obviously in our math resources, so you're going to click down to our math resources, and on the side when you look at this, you're going to be able to see math with problem solving. So if you click through the different parts on the side, it actually comes up as 3X math tasks. 3X, as far as I know, was developed by Dan Meyer, who's a high school, middle school person, and I always followed them and loved them and implementing them in classrooms. However, couldn't find a really great way to do them in elementary classrooms. And so, although you can do Dan Meyer, there's lots of other people that you can follow for 3X tasks. One of the ones that I follow is Graham Fletcher. There's plenty of other ones on here as well as Dan Meyer's website, but this section on my website kind of will lead you to the 3X. And so the one that we're going to feature today is the 3X lessons into Graham Fletcher's website. Down below is a really great free resources. We have a lot of free resources on our website. It's a 3X guideline and booklet. And so I'm going to kind of make it a little bit big so you can see exactly what the guidelines show. And so we're going to kind of go into a full screen mode, where you can look to see 3X tasks are separated into Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Act 3 is sort of when we kind of have the reveal and the kind of the showing of the answer, where the rest of these are kind of part of our instruction. And so in Act 1, I'm going to pose a mathematical problem to you or in a still frame photo or a video. And you're going to have lots of questions and kind of be asking about what that exact Act 1 is doing. Act 2 is going to be exploration, where I'll answer different questions that the kids usually will have in the second act, and they have to kind of figure it out on their own. Act 3 is where we kind of give the reveal. A 3X task is a great implementation of the 8 mathematical practices because I'm actually trying to give the 8 math practices and to see if they can do them on their own without any assistance. And so looking at this, typically in math, we want to help kids and doing different parts of it. Where a 3X task, you're kind of letting go and you're becoming a co-learner with your students in your classroom. So this is one feature. If you want kind of the X and the guideline, you can look at that on the website. In addition, I have created a book that's also on the website. It's a booklet where you can check out and kind of see how you might do this in your classroom. This particular book we only use with second grade and older. We have something different that we use for kindergarten and first grade that I'll show you, where they actually are drawing a picture and making their estimate. Our booklet folds in half, where you can draw a picture on the front, put your main task question, and then it will be followed up with what we do in Act 1 and in Act 2, and then obviously in Act 3 on the back cover of the booklet. So we're going to start off without further ado and just take you through a 3X task. I thought about doing a harder one like 5th grade, but I thought it might be a good demo to kind of look at this in 1st grade to sort of see what it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Dan Meyer's website and kind of show you where you can look at different Google things on here, Google Drive drop downs. Like I said, for Dan Meyer, a lot of his stuff are really great, but if you look at them, they're really more for 8th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. So you can kind of just click on these. These are updated quite often. It tells you what the suggested question is that you might be looking for in the application of the problem. And it also tells you which mathematical practice is featured in that one. Because I'm going to kind of gear this more towards K-5, I'm going to choose to use Graham Fletcher's website. So I'm going to click back on our website to get our 3 acts and lessons by Graham Fletcher. And so here is kind of the list of different tasks that you can do. Graham Fletcher does a really great job of showing this and what it looks like in an elementary classroom. The biggest thing a 3 acts task is doing is it's helping question metacognition. And so the one that I selected for us is one of my favorite ones, and it's called Graham Cracker. Us as adults, we've had lots of graham cracker boxes, and we've enjoyed s'mores and different things, but this is actually going to look at investigating or putting a problem out there for kids. The biggest thing here is that you're not asking leading questions, you're asking open-ended questions and kind of letting kids sort of talk. So for Act 1, we're going to preview this video and just kind of watch to see what's happening. Okay, so in this act we have saw our first act, which was a graham cracker box being pushed out, and then there's a graham cracker. What students do at this time is they would go on their booklet or on their page and they would draw a picture of what they saw happening in the first act. So kids will probably draw a box of the graham cracker and show the graham cracker that's sliding out. Although students don't know this, we have a specific question that we want kids to investigate mathematically, but in Act 1, we're writing down things that we wonder and that we notice. And so kids will say things like, I noticed a box of graham crackers. I noticed a cracker slide out. A lot of kids will tell me how many air holes they saw in the graham cracker. Some kids might say, I've not heard of this brand of graham crackers before. Some kids might notice things with the ounces that are on there, or different things that they have also had graham crackers. We'll try to change some of their thinking into mathematical questions or wonders. And so a lot of kids will say, I wonder, are we going to get to eat graham crackers? Or they might say, I wonder how many graham crackers are inside of the box of graham crackers. And so on the websites where you see the 3 acts task, it will always tell you to have kids talk about what they've noticed and what they wonder. I always have kids draw a picture of it as well. And we'd like to know how many crackers come inside the cracker box. Again, I let the students generate 5 to 6 questions that you might be able to mathematically investigate without actually telling them what the investigation is. And so if the question was, how many graham crackers are in the box? We would let the children think about what they need to do to get the answer. And so here, typically in math, I would give you all the information. I would say there's this many rows, this many crackers are on a sheet, there's this much in the box. But in a 3 acts task, I actually don't provide the students with any information until they start asking questions. So if we thought about this, kids would ask questions like, I wonder, is that cracker one whole cracker? Or is it a piece of a cracker? And so if kids ask me the right question, like I said, if they ask me a question, I will give them a response. If they don't ask me a question, I won't answer. So in this video, we're going to look at to see the answer. Is that cracker that they showed indeed the full size of a cracker in the box, or is it part? So we took a cracker and cracked it in half and then cracked it in half again, and it's showing that the cracker that we're looking at that we want to know is actually 1/4 of what is on a sheet. So I'd answer that question that kids had from that particular question, and then I would ask them for any more questions. Some classrooms that I do this in feel that there is plenty of information that they're given, and they guess. I think there's 50 crackers in the box. We want an actual investigation and for them to use the 8 math practices and to help them kind of come up with an answer. So other students will ask, okay, if that is 1/4 of a cracker, how many of those actual sheets of crackers come in a sleeve? And so I don't answer questions unless they're very specific. This is the hardest part about this. This is really inquiry-based learning, and really I'm trying to be very student-centered with the 8 math practices. And so when the kids ask how many sheets are in a cracker sleeve, I will show them. And so we'll count that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 crackers in a sleeve. After they've figured that out, they have some information. Now, some students might know that a package comes with 3 if it's not something from Costco, but some of them don't know that my box is completely full. A lot of times when I do this for the first time, it's very crickety because kids are very unsure as to why you aren't just teaching them. Because in math, we're very teacher-directed about what we do, where this is where I'm kind of pulling back and letting the kids sort of investigate on their own. So as I come through, some kids might say, well, now that I know how many crackers are on a sheet and I know how many sheets are in a sleeve, how many sleeves are in a box? And so then I would show them, if they asked me the appropriate question, I would show them that there's indeed 3 sleeves with 9 in each, but they have to also remember that there's 4 in each. This would be the end of this part of Act 2 because I've now provided the students with enough information to investigate and figure it out on their own. Kids in the 21st century are very entitled with technology and things that are right in front of them. If they need anything, they just ask Siri. I know at my house they ask if they can get Alexa's help at any time from our Echo. And so we want kids in the 21st century to have metacognition and then to be able to question the metacognition. If I need to figure out how many crackers are in a box, what is it I need to know to get there? Instead of me providing the steps and spoon feeding it to you and providing an illusion that you actually understand the mathematical concept, we want kids to have a deeper understanding. And so at this time I would tell them, they can make an estimate to kind of guess how many crackers do you think are in the package, and then they would be on their way to figure this out. And so the actual concept is really taking, the groups of 4, and that we know that there's 9 groups of 4 in each package, and then we have 3 packages. And so kids have an opportunity to solve their math. They can use manipulatives like an abacus if they might need it, but the idea is for them to apply this higher level math. You can obviously ramp this one down lower if you only wanted to do just the sheets, or if you wanted to look at, how much is in each 4th. I think Graham Fletcher does a great job along with everyone else that shows the 3 acts to show us this. The big drum roll at the end is Act 3, and we call it the reveal. And the reveal tells us what's going to happen. And so this one, in Act 3, it's actually going to show us that if you're looking at 9 groups of 4 in each of the packages, it would be 36 plus 36 plus 36 to give us a total of 108 graham crackers in the package. I love to be able to do sequels with these where you can give it a next level. What happens if I went to Costco and got the Jumbotron pack of graham crackers? How would this 3 acts change? Or could that be homework? Or could that be something that they're going to do with their Math with Writing Center? And so you want to kind of give kids a variety of different things to use. And so this is just one example of the many examples of 3 acts tasks that are on here. There's really great ones that I've done for kindergarten. The Candyman we've done in a lot of our courses and our Math Academies and our Tip-'em courses. Shark Bait has a worm that they're looking at non-standard measurements of units. Humpty Dumpty. Cookie Monster is a really great one where they come and take some cookies and kind of eat them, and you have to figure out how much the Cookie Monster ate. This is the graham cracker one. In the upper grades, I've done dozens of these in all different classrooms. I recently just did this one with our some 8th grade students. It's called the fish tank, and it's actually a 5th grade standard, but they really struggled. They had to figure out how much the volume of a tank was with how much the rate of the water was coming out. And so these are updated quite a bit. There's some even from 2016 as you go. If you scroll down to the end of his website, there's a lot more other people that do 3-acts tasks. I would encourage 4th through 8th grade to be doing 3-acts tasks of their own. Kids can create their own and view something, but they're actually applying a mathematical concept, whether it's measurement and data, geometry, volume, it could be them doing things with algebra, and so forth. And so you can click on these other ones. He also features a nice kindergarten recording sheet that I like that's good for younger students. You also can use my booklet that I have on my website and have kids start to fill that out. About 2nd grade is a good time for that. I would highly encourage you, if you have not yet done 3-acts tasks in your classroom, to try to do one every month. We're never going to make the shift. I'm in classrooms across our country almost every day and watching and helping and guiding teachers to make this shift with the 21st century. And it's not an easy task because we didn't learn this way. And so to get kids to remember that the 8 math practices are not for you to do, the 8 math practices are for students to do. And if you're teaching teacher directed in your classroom, you're not giving an opportunity for kids to use the 8 mathematical practices. I have some really great resources on my website if you get time to check it out on the 8 math practices on the SIS4 teachers.org. And so there's lots of different things on the free resources as well as the blog that I update weekly. I hope you enjoyed our Monday Math Mania tonight and you found it informational. I hope that you're able to be equipped with some information on 3-acts. If you do 3-acts, please feel free to comment in the comment section about which one you've done and what you've experienced. And don't forget, we have our contest today. If you tag 5 friends in our Facebook Live video so that we can share the wealth of knowledge with lots of different educators all around the world. We hope that you share it with 5 friends, and that we will do a drawing next week before our Monday Math Mania next week, and we will give away one of my 8 math practice strategy games. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.